I'm a Special United Nations Ambassador Gerard Senyumba. Here is part 6 of the UN peacekeeping operations. UN peacekeeping is a practical measure for the maintenance of peace and security which has evolved over time. There are different types of UN peacekeeping operations. These types of UN peacekeeping operations evolved in response to a changing international political environment and different types of conflict in which the Security Council engaged. When United Nations first became involved in peacekeeping after the Second World War, it addressed conflicts between states which tended to focus on border disputes or territorial disagreements. Since the end of the Cold War, the Security Council has increasingly considered civil wars as a threat to peace and security, particularly when there is a massive human suffering and when the conflict threatens or spill over to neighboring states. The different types of peacekeeping are traditional peacekeeping, multidimensional peacekeeping, and transitional authority. There is also an additional type of field mission, which is special political missions or SPMs that are often involved in conflict prevention, peacekeeping, in conflict prevention, peacemaking, and peace building. So, what about traditional peacekeeping operation? Let's see the evolution. They were first deployed during Cold War. Those are traditional peacekeeping operation, and they are deployed as an interim measure to help manage a conflict. To create safer conditions for other actors to work on peacemaking activities. They do not normally play a direct role in political efforts to resolve the conflict. So, diplomats or other representatives of individual states, regional organizations, or special UN envoys may be working on longer-term political solutions, allowing the peacekeeping to withdraw. As a result, some traditional peacekeeping operations are deployed for decades before a lasting political settlement is reached between the parties. Traditional peacekeeping tasks assigned are essentially military in character and may involve observation, monitoring, and reporting using static posts, patrols, overflights, or other technical means with the agreement of the parties. Supervision of ceasefire and support to verification and mechanisms. Interposition or placement as a buffer and confidence building measures. The tasks will be outlined in the mandate of the mission set out by the Security Council. Because traditional missions are mostly military in character, they may also be headed by military personnel. In contrast, multidimensional peacekeepings are headed by civilian personnel. Unlike transitional authorities or multidimensional peacekeeping operations, traditional peacekeeping operations don't carry out functions of the state, nor do they engage in governance or capacity building activities. Therefore, these types of activities will not be reflected in the text of the mandate. Traditional peacekeeping characteristics include that they are designed for conflicts between states. They are lightly armed international presence. They create a buffer between the parties. They are predominantly military tasks, guided by the principles of consent, impartiality, and the non-use of force except in self-defense and defense of their mandate. Traditional peacekeeping examples. There are several of the UN peacekeeping operations fitting this traditional model. The UN Military Observer Group in India and Pakistan, UN Mojib. The UN Peacekeeping Force in Cyprus, UNFICIYP. The UN Mission for the Referendum in Western Sahara, MINURSO. The UN Disengagement Observer Force, the UNDOF, in the Golan Heights, Syria, the UN Truth Supervision Organization, UNTSO. So let's see multidimensional peacekeeping. Multidimensional peacekeeping operations are deployed in dangerous aftermath and internal conflict. Create a secure and stable environment which, while working with the national authorities and actors to make sure the peace agreement is implemented. They are deployed as part of a broader international effort to help countries emerging from conflict make the transition to a sustainable peace. They employ a mix of military, police, and civilian to support implementation of a peace agreement. They support establishment of legitimate and effective governance institutions and the rule of law. They support the state's ability to provide security with full respect for human rights. They provide a framework for ensuring that the UN and other international actors work in coordination at the country level. This is often difficult in practice because there are so many UN and other international actors. This is why peacekeeping personnel need to be aware of what those other actors do and how they cooperate with the UN peacekeeping operation. Multidimensional peacekeeping operation tasks include complex multidimensional missions, integrated structures, diverse tasks, including implementing comprehensive peace agreements, disarmament, demobilization and reintegration, electoral assistance, rule of law, human rights monitoring, peace building, guided by principles of consent and impartiality and non-use of force except self-defense and defense of the mandate. Multi-dimensional peacekeeping operation examples include UN Organization Stabilization Mission in the Democratic Republic of Congo, MONUSCO, UN Stabilization Mission in Haiti, MINUSTA, the hybrid UN African Union Peacekeeping Mission in Darfur, UNAMID, the UN Mission in the Republic of South Sudan, UNMISS, the UN Operation in Cote d'Ivoire, UNOCI, the UN Mission in Liberia, UNMIL, UN Multidimensional Integrated Stabilization Mission in Mali, MINUSMA, then Transitional Authority. In various circumstances, the Security Council has also authorized multidimensional peacekeeping operations to temporarily assume the legislative and administrative functions of the state. Transitional Authority helps to resolve sovereignty questions, assist the state to establish administrative structures that may not have existed previously. Transitional Authority examples: the UN has only authorized transitional authorities in the three following cases: the UN Transition Authority in Cambodia, UNTAC, from March 1992 to September 1993. The UN Transitional Authority in East Timor, UNTAET, from October 1999 to May 2002. The UN Interim Administration Mission in Kosovo, UNMIK, established in June 1999. Then there are special political missions. Thanks for listening.